Hey guys, I am here to do a little mini lesson on story problems and how you guys should be working at home on making sure that you're following through all of your steps and showing all of your work on these story problems. You are going to be solving story problems for a very long time. And so this is something that you'll even do in high school. And if you go to college, you'll do it in college. And so I want you to learn how to do it the correct way whenever you are in first grade. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you, and then you probably are going to remember this because this is something that we do every day. And I want your parents to also watch the video so that they can also learn how we go through our steps of solving our story problems at school. Okay? So I have two problems that we're going to work on today. You will need your beginning, middle, and end mat. And so you can slide it in your sheet protector. I've put mine on the back of the number of the day, so you can just slide it in there. Now remember, on Wednesdays, we have our word problem Wednesday. So definitely use your beginning, middle, and end mat for those. Those problems that I put on there are challenging, and those are some of the most challenging problems that you'll have in first grade, okay? But I put them on there because y'all really need to practice them, and I want y'all to be super quick at them because I know that y'all can do it. So let's go ahead and look at our first problem. It says Max has 3 dogs. Molly has 5 dogs. How many dogs do they have in all? So my first step is to read it. My second step is to reread the problem. So let's reread it. Y'all read it with me. Get ready. Max has 3 dogs. Molly has 5 dogs. How many dogs do they have in all? Now remember, friends, we sing our little song. We're going to underline the question, circle the information, and then we also put a box around our labels, okay? So my question, I need to underline the question. My question says, how many dogs do they have in all? So we're wanting to figure out how many dogs they have in all. I need to circle my information. My information is my numbers. So right here I have a 3, and right here I have a 5. Now our labels tell us what we're talking about. In our story, we are talking about dogs. Max has 3 dogs, and Molly has 5 dogs. It wants to know how many dogs do they have in all. So when my labels are the same, so like I have dogs, and I'm looking for dogs, we're going to either add or subtract. When they're different, when the labels are different, that actually means multiply or divide. But since we don't know how to do that, then I always tell my friends that if the labels are different, then you have to draw a picture. Okay? So we're going to either add or subtract. So what do you think we're going to do in this particular problem? We are going to add. Okay, we're going to add the 2 numbers together because our question says how many dogs do they have in all? So we're going to take 3 dogs and we're going to add 5 dogs. Now on these types of problems, you don't necessarily have to use your beginning, middle, end mat, but I'll show you how to use it, okay? So in the beginning of our story, we had 3 dogs, and we always encourage our students to put their labels on there, okay? In the middle of our story, we had 5 dogs. Put that down a little bit. And at the end of the story, we don't know how many dogs we have. So we're going to put a question, and we're going to put dogs. We don't know how many dogs. We decided that we were going to add. So when we add together 3 and 5, we get 8. Okay? So I can write the answer. 8 dogs. And my equation was 3 plus 5, equals 8. So 3 plus 5 equals 8. So 8 dogs is our answer. Alrighty, and so we put that on there. Squeeze it in there. Okay, so that's how we can solve problems like that. I'm going to go ahead and erase my beginning, middle, end mat because I will definitely need it for this next problem, okay? All right, let's look at the next problem. It says Molly has 7 cookies. Max has some cookies. Together they have 15 cookies. How many cookies does Max have? Let's read it again. We'll reread it. Molly has 7 cookies. Max has some cookies. Together they have 15 cookies. How many cookies does Max have? So let's underline the question. The question is, how many cookies does Max have? So we're trying to figure out Max. All right, let's circle the information. There's a 7 here and there's a 15 here. And my labels tell us what we're talking about. So here we have cookies. And here we have cookies. And we want to know how many cookies Max has. This is where our beginning, middle, end mat comes in very handy, okay? So at the beginning of the story, Molly has 7 cookies. Okay? And in the middle of the story, it says Max has some cookies. Do we know how many cookies Max has? No. So some cookies, we're going to draw a question mark and put cookies. So we don't know how many. But we know at the end of the story, they have 15 cookies. So we already know how many is at the end of the story. We have to figure out the beginning, okay? So we are going to be adding, because look, that number got bigger. 7 plus what equals 15? And I like to encourage my friends to start at 7 and to count up to 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 8 right there to count up to 15. So the answer is actually 8 cookies. Max had 8 cookies. And I solved this by doing 7 plus blank equals 15, and my blank was 8. Alrighty, so that is how to use your beginning, middle, end mat, and those are some examples of some story problems that we do in first grade. Just keep looking out on those Wednesday word problems, and that'll give you some examples of some other types of problems that we solve in first grade. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.